Chapter 1, Cryogenic Morning. The Halo Top Sleep Optimization System cost me $47,000. It's worth every fucking penny because when you're managing 73 million in crypto derivatives you need exactly 4 hours and 17 minutes of REM sleep. The electromagnetic field manipulation is crucial. When I wake up at 4:20 a.m. sharp, I immediately check my phone to see if any of the altcoins I've been shorting have finally collapsed overnight. There's something deeply satisfying about watching 22-year-old crypto influencers lose their parents' retirement funds while I'm lying in Italian sheets that cost more than their annual income. Speaking of income, I made $2.3 million yesterday just from a single Dogecoin derivative play. I executed it while getting a colonic at this place in Tribeca where they use oxygenated water. The technician has these amazing tits. When she was inserting the speculum, I was simultaneously placing sell orders on my phone and watching her reflection in the black screen. I was thinking about how easy it would be to just grab her throat and squeeze until those perfect little capillaries in her eyes burst like tiny fireworks. The apartment is $12.8 million of pure architectural perfection in Hudson Yards. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the Hudson River. When I stand here completely naked except for my Patek Philippe Nautilus, which cost me $89,000, I can see all the way to New Jersey. That's where the poor people live in their sad little suburban houses. They drive their pathetic Honda Civics to their meaningless jobs at Target and Home Depot. The thought of all that mediocrity makes me physically ill. I do my morning mirror work. I look directly into my own eyes and repeat the mantras that my performance coach taught me. I am the algorithm. I am the market. Gen Z deserves extinction. Also, every loss is someone else's gain and every gain is someone else's loss. Then I take a picture of my abs for my Instagram story because my followers need to see what peak male performance looks like. Within 30 seconds I have 200 likes. One is from this 18-year-old blonde from Ohio who posts pictures of her ass in yoga pants. I screenshot her profile and add it to my private collection, which now contains over 3,000 images. These girls will never know how close they came to death simply by existing in my digital space. The cryotherapy chamber is set to -200 degrees Fahrenheit. I step inside completely naked because clothing interferes with the optimal cellular response. As the liquid nitrogen swirls around my body, I think about how this is exactly what death must feel like. Except death is permanent and this is just 3 minutes of controlled suffering that costs me $500 per session. While I'm in here, I review my overnight crypto positions on my waterproof phone. I see that the rug pull I orchestrated on a new DeFi protocol has already netted me $400,000 in profit. It simultaneously destroyed the life savings of approximately 800 retail investors who were stupid enough to believe in something called Safe Moon 2.0. The irony is beautiful because there's nothing safe about the moon and there's nothing safe about trusting someone like me with your money. When I emerge from the chamber, my skin is bright red and my nerve endings are screaming. But this is what peak performance feels like. I immediately apply Augustinus Bader the Rich Cream, which costs $265 for a tiny jar. I mix it with crushed modafinil because my dermatologist told me that transdermal absorption is 30% more effective than oral consumption. The combination gives me this incredible mental clarity that lasts for exactly 4 hours and 42 minutes. That's long enough to execute my morning trading strategy and complete my skincare routine. And masturbate to the security footage from my building's lobby where I can watch the delivery drivers and cleaning staff. I imagine what it would be like to invite them up to my apartment and show them my knife collection. My breakfast consists of Miyazaki beef A5 Wagyu that costs $300 per pound. I eat it raw with sea urchin while live streaming on TikTok where I have 4.9 million followers. They think I'm just another crypto influencer sharing lifestyle content. What they don't know is that I'm simultaneously watching drone footage of the homeless encampment in Tompkins Square Park. I paid some NYU film students to film it for me. Every time I take a bite of the beef, I imagine that I'm consuming the flesh of the addicts and schizophrenics who live in those tents. When someone in the comments asks about my morning routine, I tell them that success requires sacrifice. Most people aren't willing to do what it takes to achieve greatness. The video gets 2.3 million views in the first hour and generates enough engagement to boost my algorithmic reach for the next 72 hours. The supplement stack is my secret weapon. It takes me exactly 11 minutes to consume all 47 pills and capsules and powders. I've carefully researched and tested and optimized this combination over the past 3 years. It includes Ozempic for appetite suppression and Concerta crushed into powder for sustained focus. Also actual pharmaceutical-grade cocaine that I source from a contact at Columbia Presbyterian who steals it from the cardiac surgery department. When I consume this mixture, I become something more than human. Something that exists beyond the normal limitations of morality and empathy and legal consequences. I can feel my consciousness expanding as the chemicals interact with my neurotransmitters and create new pathways for thinking and feeling and experiencing reality. The Wim Hof breathing method requires exactly 30 deep breaths followed by a breath hold of 4 minutes and 15 seconds. During this time I enter a meditative state where I can access my deepest thoughts and desires. Today I'm thinking about my Peloton instructor who has this perfect little body. She always wears these tight leggings that show the outline of her labia. When she says things like, "You're stronger than you think," and "push through the pain," I imagine that I'm pushing something else entirely. Her encouragement is directed toward a very different kind of physical activity. I've been taking her classes for 6 months now and I know her schedule and her routine. I know that she lives alone in a studio apartment in Williamsburg. Sometimes I drive by in my Tesla just to see if her lights are on. I wonder what she's doing and whether she's thinking about me too. The shower is where I really wake up. The water temperature is set to exactly 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Any hotter and it damages the skin. Any cooler and it doesn't provide adequate muscle relaxation. I use La Mer body wash that costs $300 per bottle and I scrub my skin until it's red and raw because I need to feel something other than the endless numbness that comes from having unlimited power over other people's lives. While I'm showering, I'm thinking about this documentary I watched about genocide in Rwanda. The machete is actually a more efficient killing tool than guns in certain situations. I've been researching the best places to purchase military-grade machetes. I found a supplier in Eastern Europe who doesn't ask questions about end-user certificates and ships to private addresses in unmarked packages. The skincare routine takes exactly 40 minutes and involves 19 different products that I apply in a specific sequence that took me 2 years to perfect. First, I cleanse with La Mer the cleansing foam, which costs $190 for 4.2 ounces and contains sea kelp ferment that supposedly regenerates cellular DNA but really just makes my skin feel tight and clean. Then I use the SkinCeuticals CE Ferulic Vitamin C Serum, which costs $169 per ounce and has to be stored in the refrigerator to maintain potency, and I apply exactly 3 drops to my face and neck using upward circular motions because downward motions cause premature sagging. Next comes the SK2 Facial Treatment Essence, which costs $340 for 8.1 ounces and contains patera, which is basically fermented yeast extract, but the Japanese marketing makes it sound like liquid gold, and I pat it into my skin for exactly 60 seconds while thinking about how the model in their advertisements probably gets gang raped by photographers between shoots. Then I apply La Prairie Platinum Rare Haute Rejuvenation Eye Cream, which costs $750 for 0.68 ounces and supposedly contains platinum nanoparticles that repair cellular damage but probably just contains expensive moisturizers and false hope. The Augustinus Bader The Rich Cream comes next and costs $265 for 1.7 ounces, and I mix it with crushed modafinil because transdermal absorption bypasses the liver and provides sustained cognitive enhancement for up to 6 hours. I massage this mixture into my face using a jade roller that costs $80 and was supposedly blessed by Tibetan monks but was actually made in a factory in Guangzhou by workers who earn $3 per day. For my lips I use Tom Ford Lip Balm, which costs $56 and comes in this sleek black tube that makes me think about shoving it down someone's throat until they choke on luxury. The retinol treatment is tretinoin 0.1%, which I get prescribed off-label by a dermatologist in Beverly Hills who charges $800 per consultation and doesn't ask questions about why I need industrial-strength anti-aging products at 29 years old. I also apply Revision Skincare IntelliShade, which costs $68 and provides SPF 45 protection, even though I'll be spending the day in a climate-controlled office building, because UV damage is cumulative and irreversible, like the psychological trauma I inflict on people who trust me. The final step is Kiehl's Facial Fuel Eye Depuffer, which costs $32 and contains caffeine to reduce under-eye bags caused by staying up all night manipulating Asian markets and watching snuff films on the dark web. Between each application, I practice facial expressions in the mirror. The concerned look where I furrow my brow and tilt my head slightly to the left. The sympathetic nod where I lower my chin and soften my eyes. The surprised reaction where I raise my eyebrows and open my mouth just enough to show my professionally whitened teeth. These are all masks I wear when interacting with people who don't understand that empathy is just a social performance designed to manipulate others into trusting you long enough to destroy them financially and emotionally. The neck cream is La Mer the Neck and Décolleté Concentrate, which costs $350 for 1.7 ounces, and I apply it using upward strokes because gravity is constantly trying to reveal my age and I refuse to let physics win. I also use a new Face Trinity device which costs $325 and supposedly tones facial muscles using microcurrent technology, but really just makes me feel like I'm electrocuting myself in the most expensive way possible. The Brunello Cucinelli Cashmere Hoodie costs $3,400. It's made from the finest cashmere in the world. When I put it on, all I can think about is how easy it would be to use the drawstrings to strangle someone. The soft fabric would muffle their screams. The neutral beige color would hide bloodstains better than darker colors. I've actually tested this theory with a piece of raw meat from the butcher and the results were very encouraging. I think about this while I'm getting dressed and looking at myself in the mirror. I admire how the hoodie makes my shoulders look broader and my waist look narrower. The casual luxury aesthetic communicates wealth and success without appearing ostentatious. The Loro Piana cashmere joggers cost $1,800. They're made from baby cashmere, which requires the hair of newborn goats who are then slaughtered immediately after shearing. There's something poetic about wearing the fur of dead babies while planning to destroy the financial futures of living ones. The joggers fit perfectly because I had them tailored by the same guy who does suits for Fortune 500 CEOs. He charges $500 just to hem pants, but he's discreet and never asks why there are sometimes blood stains on the clothing I bring him. The sneakers are limited edition Travis Scott x Nike collaboration that cost me $4,500 on the resale market. They were originally $300 retail, but artificial scarcity drives up demand among hype-beast losers who define their self-worth through sneaker ownership. I bought 50 pairs at retail using bots and fake accounts. Then I sold 49 pairs for massive profits and kept the best one for myself. The irony is that Travis Scott is a talentless piece of shit who got famous by auto-tuning his voice and dating a Kardashian. But his sneakers appreciate in value faster than most stocks. The Apple Watch Ultra 3 costs $1,200, but I've paired it with a Hermes band that costs another $1,300. The combination tracks my heart rate, sleep patterns, stress levels, and blood oxygen saturation. It also monitors my location at all times, which would be problematic if I were concerned about privacy, but I'm not because I control the narrative around my activities. The watch is connected to my iPhone, which is connected to my laptop, which is connected to my trading accounts, which are connected to global financial markets, which are connected to the suffering of billions of people who don't even know my name. The final step before leaving for work is checking my overnight trades. The markets never sleep and neither do I. While America was dreaming, I was manipulating currency exchanges in Tokyo and commodity futures in London. My algorithms executed 734 trades overnight. Net profit was $1.2 million. Most of this money came from shorting the yen against the dollar using insider information I received from a contact at the Bank of Japan. The currency manipulation will cause inflation in Japan that will make food unaffordable for millions of elderly people living on fixed incomes. They'll have to choose between medicine and meals. Many will choose incorrectly and die. But their deaths will be statistically insignificant compared to my profits. The elevator ride down to the garage takes 43 seconds. During this time I review my schedule for the day. 9 a.m. meeting with arms dealers from Yemen. 10:30 a.m. conference call with money launderers in Panama. 12 p.m. lunch with human traffickers from Eastern Europe. 2 p.m. presentation to pension fund managers about cryptocurrency investments that will bankrupt their retirees. 4 p.m. derivatives trading session that will crash emerging market currencies. 6 p.m. dinner with politicians who vote the way I tell them to vote. 8 p.m. torture and murder of someone whose name I haven't decided yet. The Tesla Cybertruck is parked in my reserved spot in the building's private garage. The stainless steel exterior can't be scratched or dented, which means it's perfect for situations where you might need to transport something messy or heavy or struggling. The interior has cameras and sensors that can be disabled if you know the right codes. The autopilot system can be programmed to take you to locations that aren't in any GPS database. When I drive through the city in this thing, I feel like I'm piloting a machine of pure dominance. Everyone who sees me knows that I'm not like them. I exist on a different level of reality where normal rules don't apply. The garage door opens and sunlight floods the concrete space. Outside, the city is waking up. Millions of people are beginning their daily routines. Going to jobs they hate. Earning money they'll never have enough of. Living lives they'll never understand the purpose of. They're all economic slaves trapped in a system designed to extract maximum value from their labor while providing minimum compensation. And I'm the one extracting that value. Every dollar in my account represents hours of their lives that they'll never get back. Time they spent creating wealth for people like me instead of meaning for themselves. The beautiful irony is that they're grateful for the opportunity to be exploited. They call it employment.